And here we go, early morning shoot with probably going to be a very unpopular take on something going on in professional wrestling. I know, I am a wrestling fan. I have been since the 80s and all that fun stuff. But still, what is going on? All my amazing internet weirdos, or as I love to call you, my viewers to be named later. One day I'll get around to it. Not going to be today. If you hear some pounding in the background, we've got a lot of work being done in our apartment complex area, and they're finally getting over towards me so I can hear it every so often, the ting, ting, ting. So please try to overlook that, all right? But like I said, I've been a wrestling fan forever. Things were part of my childhood. Things grew, growing up. At one point, I even had stock in WWE. But with the explosion of the internet and all kinds of weird stuff, I love the fact that you have certain wrestlers out there who have very, very successful podcasts, or people who used to be wrestlers are doing podcasts. I love Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about? I love that Soraya now has a podcast that I found. What's his name? With the up, up, down, down. Sorry, I can't. Austin Creed. I loved his. All right. And I seriously loved 6 Feet Under. One of the things that always got me with 6 Feet Under was its two drinking buddies hanging out. The Undertaker, and God forgive me, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, the co-host, who is also part owner of Nine Line Apparel, I believe. He was also the weird hipster dude in Graham Allen's rants a couple years ago. So the Undertaker came out with one, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. I started watching an episode, and I had to watch it all the way through. I didn't want to come back to it later. Undertaker has joined WWE Creative. So in essence, the World Wrestling Entertainment now has control of 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker. I have never wanted somebody off of a WWE show so bad in my life, so he can go back to his podcast and do it correct. I think LFG is a neat growth cycle of Tough Enough. I'll be honest, at one point I thought Tough Enough was fun, it was unique, it was interesting. And then it became about, okay, one of the tryouts done, who are the goofy idiots, let's get them out of the way, let's move on. Because they were going to do stupid itty-bitty little things, and Creative was going to pick whoever looked the best, or who they wanted to have relations with, and go, bam, you're the winner. So 6 Feet Under is now, I guess, in control of WWE. I don't like the fact that they ousted the co-host and put Michelle McCool in. In my opinion, she's not a Hall of Famer. I didn't see anything in her career that was so standout that you go, first ballot Hall of Famer, should have been in there years ago. Just my opinion, it's part of the controversy. Not that I hate women, don't go there. I just don't think she's a Hall of Famer. Alright? So now she's the co-host of 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker. And she was the first guest on the new show. I will say for the record, one of the top premiere episodes of the original 6 Feet Under was when Michelle McCool came on and they just roasted The Undertaker for over an hour, and poor Mark was just sitting there like, and he looks at his co-host and he's like, I can slap you, right? I found that hilarious. But all these shows since have been so censored, it's not even funny. You're never going to get another episode where Midian comes on the show and admits live, yeah, Mark wanted to kill me that night. I got up and puked and crapped all over his living room. He came downstairs, looked around and went, this better be cleaned up before I get home or you're a dead man. And he took off on a motorcycle ride. Or when you had Hornswoggle on the show and he was telling a story and it broke The Undertaker down and he goes, beeping midgets. And Hornswoggle instantly goes, you get one of those. You'll never see anything like that ever. I didn't like the Braun Breaker episode because it seemed like Michelle McCool was trying to take over everything and go, let's out redneck each other. Let's see who's get bigger fish. And let's see who likes fishing more. And let's see who likes this. And let's see who likes that. But the show that they got HBK. Oh my God. 2 of the best WrestleMania matches I think I've ever seen were Undertaker versus HBK back-to-back WrestleManias. Now, I'm not a huge Shawn Michaels fan, but I'll give the guy credit. He's turned his life around. He's doing incredible stuff. I like who he is now more than I did in the 90s, and I'm just going to leave it that way. But you've got HBK coming on, and they're talking about the controversy at the WrestleMania where Shawn was supposed to drop the belt to Stone Cold, and they wanted to talk about, the rumor that Taker had his fist taped up and grill, and he's like, I'm going to beat his ass if he doesn't do business. They started talking about a bar fight that, the Broken Skull Club prevented the Clique from getting their asses kicked in. And it seemed to always get diverted by Michelle McCool, who's like, you guys can't talk about this because the wife is present and I don't want to know about it. So here's my weird take. Kick Michelle McCool, let The Undertaker go do it with his original co-host, and watch history being made. I mean, come on. They said point blank, if that podcast got to 1 million, he would get the Broken Skull Club together at WrestleMania, put a couple bottles of Jack on the table, and just tell stories. You're not going to see that under the WWE's guidance. If you're a wrestling fan, these things are just priceless to me. Oh yeah, JBL has a podcast as well. And when he was talking about Farouk and how they, playing a prank on Farouk, just how he was imitating Farouk and his mannerisms. You want to see that. You want to see wrestling shoot interviews. Hell, I even like Stevie Richards more now than he was the leader of the Blue World Order, which I thought was freaking one of the best wrestling parodies ever. And, part of that probably came from the mind of Paul Heyman. I like, what is it? WWE Unreal on Netflix now? I've watched 2.5 episodes and I'm so hooked on it. I'm like, this is the stuff people want to see. Which is why here's my controversial take. Ditch Michelle McCool, let it go back to what it was, and watch magic happen. Alright, we're at this best part of this video. Seriously, we really, really, truly are. I want to know your questions, comments, love, hatred, anger, all that fun stuff down below. I know wrestling stuff is kind of a little bit different for the channel. I've been a huge wrestling fan for a long time. I even reviewed Stone Cold's belt here on the channel. The replica that you can get, which is still one of my most prized possessions, next to The Undertaker's 40th anniversary belt. But how do you feel about where 6 Feet Under is going? Do you think it needs a change? Do you think it's perfect how it is? Do you think it should revert back to its original format? How do you feel about, Michelle McCool being on there? Not to mention she's now a coach on LFG Season 2, because I guess Mickie James had other things she wanted to do. I don't know. No, just no. But as Cody Rhodes calls it, Nepo babies, which still makes me laugh my butt off. But like I said, I want to know, have you been watching? Have you not? What do you feel? I really want to know that. Alright, best way to support this channel is fourfold. Do the usual YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, and leave me a silly-ass comment down below for the algorithm. But there we go, guys. My most controversial wrestling take to date ever. I want to thank you guys for watching this one. Hopefully you're having a great day today. Hopefully you're having a safe day today. And we look forward to seeing all of you in our very next video.